dreams have always intrigued humanity. Since ancient times, people have wondered, do dreams carry some sort of deep message? Or are they merely products of our imagination? The Bible, one of the oldest and most influential texts of humankind, offers us some clues on this matter. In it, we see dreams that were not only interpreted, but also became prophetic realities. Great biblical figures such as Jacob, Joseph, and even powerful kings like Pharaoh and Nebuchadnezzar had dreams that changed the course of history. But what did these dreams mean? Were they simple reflections of daily thoughts, or were they direct messages from God? The question is not just about what dreams represent, but what they can reveal to us. Do our dreams today still have the same power to predict the future? Get ready, because the answer to this question might be surprising. And the journey begins long before we can imagine, back in ancient times, when heaven and earth connected through mysterious and symbolic dreams. Imagine yourself traveling through the deserts of ancient Canaan, a barren land full of challenges. It is here that we find Jacob, a man on the run, filled with fear and uncertainties. His brother Esau wants to kill him, and he doesn't know where to go. Jacob is alone, unsure of what the future holds. He lies down on the cold ground, using a stone as a pillow, and falls into a deep sleep in the midst of a desolate place. Then, in the silence of the night, something extraordinary happens. Jacob has a dream. But it's not just any dream. He sees a ladder that stretches from the earth to the heavens, and angels, radiant and majestic, are ascending and descending on it. These are not just mysterious figures. They carry a message of peace and protection. Jacob wakes up with a sense of relief and calm because he understands that these angels are not just passing by. They are with him, sent by God. This dream is more than just a simple vision. Jacob realizes that God is with him even as he flees, even when everything seems lost. The angels who accompanied him in the land of Israel will now follow him in the diaspora, wherever he may go. Jacob's dream is no coincidence. It is a divine sign, a reminder that, despite his fears, he is never truly alone. And thus, this simple dream on that night in the desert changes Jacob's perspective on his journey and ours as well. Now, imagine a young man named Joseph, the favorite son of Jacob, living surrounded by envy and distrust. His brothers look at him with resentment, for Joseph was their father's favorite, and it was evident in everything, even in the colorful coat he wore, a special gift that none of the others received. But Joseph didn't just have privileges, he also had dreams, powerful dreams, full of symbolism. One night, Joseph dreams that he and his brothers are in the field, gathering bundles of wheat. Suddenly, all of his brothers' bundles bow down to his, as if acknowledging his position of power. Joseph shares the dream with his brothers, but instead of admiration, it awakens something even more dangerous: envy. Shortly after, another dream comes to Joseph. This time, he sees the sun, the moon, and 11 stars bowing before him. The message of the dream is clear. Even his father and mother, represented by the sun and the moon, and his 11 brothers, the stars, would bow down to him. When Joseph tells this dream, even his father Jacob, who loves him deeply, is troubled. "Will I, your mother and your brothers, really bow down before you?" Jacob asks. But while trying to calm the others, Jacob keeps these words in his heart, for he knows that somehow there is truth in these dreams. Joseph's brothers, however, do not forget what they heard. They see these dreams as a provocation, a threat to the balance of power within the family. Envy turns into anger, and anger into hatred. Joseph doesn't know it, but his dreams, which foresee his grand destiny, have also planted the seed of a dark plan. And while his brothers scheme against him, Joseph continues, unaware of the true impact of his dreams, for now. These seemingly simple dreams are a prelude to something much greater. Something that will change not only Joseph's life, but the history of an entire nation. Imagine the great palace of Egypt, a place of absolute power, where Pharaoh rules with unquestionable authority. It is here that we find the next chapter of this journey, and it begins with a series of strange and unsettling dreams that disturb the most powerful man on earth. Pharaoh, the king of Egypt, had not just one, but two dreams that left him shaken. In the first, he sees 7 fat and healthy cows emerging from the Nile, a symbol of abundance and prosperity. But soon after, another 7 cows appear, thin and sickly. In a bizarre and frightening twist, The thin cows devour the fat ones, yet they remain as skeletal as before. In the second dream, Pharaoh sees 7 full and ripe ears of grain. But then, another 7 ears, dried and weak, appear and devour the healthy ones without seeming to improve at all. These dreams were so vivid that Pharaoh awoke disturbed, convinced that they held a deeper meaning, something grave. But no one in his court, neither the magicians nor the wise men, could interpret these dreams in a way that satisfied the king's heart. It is then that Joseph, a forgotten prisoner in the palace dungeons, is summoned. Can you imagine this? A man betrayed by his own brothers, sold into slavery, is now brought before Pharaoh to decipher the deepest mysteries of the king's mind. Joseph, with surprising calm, listens to the dreams and, without hesitation, says, "These dreams are not yours, Pharaoh. God has given them to you as a warning." Joseph then reveals what these dreams mean. The 7 fat cows and full ears of grain represent 7 years of abundance that Egypt will experience. But soon after, 7 years of devastating famine will follow, symbolized by the thin cows and dry ears, which will consume everything that was harvested in the years of plenty. The impact of this interpretation is profound. Joseph not only revealed the future but gave Pharaoh the power to prepare for it. And Pharaoh, impressed by Joseph's wisdom, does the unthinkable. He appoints Joseph the prisoner as the second most powerful man in all of Egypt, in charge of saving the nation from the coming famine. Thus, the dreams that once tormented Pharaoh become the survival plan for all of Egypt, and, later, for Joseph's own family. These dreams not only saved a nation, but placed Joseph exactly where he was meant to be, fulfilling the destiny foretold by his own dreams. Now, let's journey to the heart of a powerful empire, Babylon. There, seated on the throne, is one of the most feared kings of his time, Nebuchadnezzar. He has conquered lands, built imposing cities, and destroyed the great temple of Jerusalem. But despite all his strength, he is restless. Something deeply troubles him. In the stillness of the night, he is haunted by a dream so vivid and terrifying that it makes him wake up in a cold sweat. Nebuchadnezzar cannot remember the exact details, but he knows that the dream carries a powerful message. Desperate for answers, he summons his wise men, magicians, and sorcerers, demanding something nearly impossible. Not only to interpret his dream, but to reveal the dream itself. "You must not only tell me what it means," the king orders, "but also tell me what I dreamed." The wise men are terrified. How could they possibly know what the king dreamed without him telling them? The threat is clear. If they fail, Nebuchadnezzar will have them killed, accusing them of fraud. And this is where Daniel, a young Hebrew exile known for his wisdom and connection with God, enters the scene. With unshakable faith, Daniel offers to reveal both the dream and its meaning. He prays, asking God to show him what the mighty king had dreamed. The next morning, Daniel stands before Nebuchadnezzar and begins to describe the dream with frightening precision. "Majesty," Daniel says, "you dreamed of a massive statue, terrifying in its splendor. The head was made of pure gold, the chest and arms of silver, the belly and thighs of bronze, the legs of iron, and the feet of iron mixed with clay." The king is astonished, remembering the vision clearly. But Daniel does not stop there. He continues, "Then you saw a stone, not cut by human hands, come down and strike the feet of the statue, completely destroying it. And that stone became a great mountain that filled the whole earth." An absolute silence falls over the throne room. Daniel then explains the meaning. "Majesty, this statue represents 4 great kingdoms. You, Nebuchadnezzar, are the head of gold, the greatest of all kings. But after you, other kingdoms will arise, each inferior to the previous one, until a final fragile kingdom appears, represented by the feet of iron and clay. Then, God will send his own kingdom, symbolized by the stone, which will destroy all the others and will never be overthrown." Nebuchadnezzar, impressed by the accuracy and depth of the interpretation, falls to his knees before Daniel, acknowledging that Daniel's God is truly powerful. He elevates Daniel to a position of great authority, making him one of the most influential rulers in Babylon. Thus, the dream that had terrified Nebuchadnezzar turned out to be a prophecy about the future of the world's kingdoms, and Daniel, a simple exile, became an instrument of divine revelation. Once again, we see that dreams, far beyond mere night visions, can shape the destiny of kings, kingdoms, and nations. Now that we've heard about the dreams of Jacob, Joseph, Pharaoh, and Nebuchadnezzar, it becomes clear that these dreams were not just random images, but divine messages, prophecies that change the course of history. But what can we learn from all of this? What do these dreams teach us about the role of dreams as a bridge between the human and the divine? First, it's important to note something curious. These messages didn't come only to the righteous. Joseph, a man of faith, and Jacob, the patriarch of Israel, received powerful dreams. But so did Pharaoh, a pagan king, and Nebuchadnezzar, the destroyer of the Temple of Jerusalem, who also had prophetic dreams. What does this mean? Could it be that God speaks even to those who don't know him, who don't follow his ways? The answer seems to be yes. These dreams reveal a profound truth. God can communicate with anyone, whether righteous or wicked, powerful or humble. There are no barriers. Joseph, a simple young man, had visions that foretold his rise to power. Pharaoh, a foreign king, received a warning about the years of famine to come. Nebuchadnezzar, a conqueror, was warned about the fate of the kingdoms that would follow his own. What unites all of these characters is the clarity that in crucial moments, the divine entered their dreams to reveal a future that they could never have predicted on their own. But beyond that, there's a fascinating pattern. Many of these dreams appeared in pairs. Joseph had 2 dreams about his future greatness. Pharaoh dreamed twice about the cows and the ears of grain. Nebuchadnezzar had 2 prophetic dreams about the fate of kingdoms. This teaches us something powerful. When dreams are repeated, it's a sign that what is coming is inevitable. It's as if the universe is underlining the message, saying, "Pay attention, this will happen." These dreams were more than simple reflections of daily life. They carried messages that would change the history of entire nations. But now an important question arises. What about our dreams? Do all dreams have this power? Can we all receive prophecies while we sleep? Or are some dreams merely echoes of our own minds? This is a question that great sages have debated for centuries. And as we dive deeper into this mystery, we begin to understand that dreams can have a prophetic dimension, but they also carry a measure of imagination and interpretation. God spoke through dreams to both the righteous and the unrighteous. But not every dream is a divine message. Sometimes they are merely shadows of our subconscious. Now, as we move forward, we enter an even more fascinating territory. What does mystical tradition say about dreams? The Talmud, the ancient wisdom of Judaism, teaches us that, in certain cases, dreams can be a fraction of prophecy, a small window into the divine. But not all dreams are the same, and much depends on how they manifest. First, there is an important rule in mystical traditions. The closer to dawn you dream, the more likely the dream has a special meaning. Why? The explanation is simple. For most of the night, our dreams are shaped by the events of our day, by our worries and anxieties. But in the final moments of sleep, when the mind is more at peace, there can be a more direct connection with the spiritual world. In this state, dreams can be a purer form of communication between the soul and the divine. Another sign that a dream may be significant is when it repeats itself. When the same vision returns night after night, it can be a signal that an important message is being conveyed. This is what happened with Pharaoh when he dreamed both about cows and ears of grain. Although the symbols were different, the theme was the same: years of plenty, followed by years of famine. Similarly, Joseph had 2 dreams with the same message of power and leadership. Repetition, according to mystical tradition, is an indicator that the message is firm and that something of great importance is about to happen. There is also a belief that if you dream and, within the dream itself, you receive the interpretation, this is a sign that the dream is true. This is what happened with Pharaoh. He didn't know exactly what the dreams meant, but deep in his heart, when Joseph gave the interpretation, he knew it was the right answer. This kind of instinctive recognition is one of the signs that a dream has deep meaning. But not all dreams are prophetic. In fact, the sages teach that most of the dreams we have today are influenced by our fears, desires, and experiences. Sometimes we repeatedly dream about something, but that doesn't mean it's a divine message. It could simply be a reflection of persistent anxiety, something that bothers us in our daily lives. However, the dreams of Joseph, Pharaoh, and Nebuchadnezzar were completely unrelated to their immediate realities. They dreamed of things that were beyond their control, showing that the messages were of divine origin. Finally, there is the concept of sharing a dream. Mystical traditions say that if a person has a dream and another friend, unknowingly, dreams of the same theme and understands that the dream belongs to the life of the first person, this is a clear sign of a deep connection. This is rare, but when it happens, it is almost always an indication that something important is being revealed. Therefore, while some dreams are reflections of our restless minds, others, when repeated or when they carry a clear interpretation, can indeed be glimpses of something greater. But in today's world, with so many distractions, how can we know which dreams are prophetic and which are merely echoes of our imagination? For that, we need wisdom, patience, and a special sensitivity to distinguish the divine from the mundane. Now that we've explored the mysteries of biblical dreams and their profound connections to the divine, we arrive at a question that all of us have asked ourselves at some point. What about our dreams today? Do they still carry the potential to reveal the future, to transmit sacred messages? Or, as the prophet Zechariah said, have they become nothing more than empty echoes of our restless minds? The truth is that, over the centuries, spiritual wisdom has evolved, and the great sages teach us something that may surprise us. Most of our dreams today do not have prophetic meaning. As generations have passed, the spiritual level of humanity has shifted, and what was once seen as a bridge between heaven and earth now mostly reflects our daily worries. Dreaming about teeth falling out? Don't worry. In ancient times, this might have symbolized death, but today, it is often just a reflection of a deep fear, an underlying insecurity. Dreaming about snakes, rivers, or birds? Perhaps in the past, this would have been interpreted as signs of wealth or peace. But the Kabbalists tell us that, in current times, 99.9% of dreams are merely products of our subconscious, without the prophetic weight they once held. Does this mean you should ignore your dreams? Not necessarily. Although dreams today rarely carry prophetic power, they can still hold important personal meanings. They can show us our deepest fears, anxieties, or desires. But the key is not to be ruled by them. If you wake from a disturbing dream, remember, there's no need to fear. The sages have left us tools to deal with this. One is simple yet powerful: positive interpretation. If you share a dream with a wise person and they interpret it positively, this has the power to nullify any fear or negative meaning the dream might have carried. Another ancient practice is charity. Offering help to someone in need, especially on the day of a disturbing dream, can be a way to ward off any harm you fear. For those who feel particularly afraid of a specific dream, there is an ancient prayer, a mystical recitation that can help cancel out any negative force associated with the dream. This prayer, coupled with acts of kindness, serves as a reminder that, ultimately, we have the power to shape our destiny, and dreams, no matter how intense, do not dictate our future. So, at the end of this journey through dreams, an important lesson remains. Don't hold on to dreams too tightly, especially in modern times. What truly matters are the actions we take when we're awake, how we choose to live, and how we treat others. And if a dream leaves you puzzled or afraid, remember that today, most of the time, they are merely shadows of our own imagination. Dreams may have been windows to the future in the past, but today, the true prophecy lies in how we choose to act with each new dawn.